Welcome to the International Civil Rights Center and Museum's 2023 Kwanzaa Lecture Series. Habarigani, what is the word? The response would be Nia, purpose. On the fifth day of Kwanzaa, our presenter, Josephus Thompson III, is a poet, recording artist, entrepreneur, teacher, dreamer, visionary, and mentor. As a teacher and lecturer, he founded the Poetry Project, where he works in both the educational and corporate setting, focusing on education through correlation, where he uses poetry as a catalyst for literacy, leadership, and service. He is the host of the Poetry Cafe, a syndicated radio show where his voice is heard weekly over the airwaves as he showcases talented artists from all over the world in genres of poetry, hip hop, and rhythm and blues, just to name a few. The show also tours nationally and was featured on Amazon Prime. He has performed for Oprah, opened for Kanye West and Flowetry, shared stages with The Last Poets, and traveled to Australia, London, Seoul, and South Africa, as well as back and forth across the United States, sharing his gift and many talents. Every day, he searches for new ways to use his gifts and his abilities to pursue his aspirations, hopes, dreams, and purpose. Josephus is a brother, father, husband, and son. On the fifth day of Kwanzaa, the International Civil Rights Center and Museum is proud to present Josephus Thompson III, speaking on the principle of Nia, purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community, to restore our people to their traditional greatness.
Welcome to the fifth day of Kwanzaa. My name is Josephus, and I am your host of the day. It is my pleasure to talk to you about Nia, otherwise known as purpose. And today I thought I'd do a little bit differently and tell you a little bit about my personal journey in connection with the word, the idea, the concept of purpose. And my purpose has been a very interesting, artful, amazing journey. Like most people, when I was younger, my parents would always tell me that I needed to go to school, to the education, to be able to get a good job. A good job, to support a family, to create a life, and support myself. And I always focused on those words: the education, the degree, the job. I graduated high school, went to college, got my 4-year degree, and was graduating looking for that place where I would turn that piece of paper in order to get a job, a job to start my life, maybe find my purpose more along the way. But I could not find that space, that place, that box to check where you turn in your degree to get a job. And nobody tells you about that. They say get the education, get the degree, get the job, but they forget to tell you about interviewing and all the disappointments and the rejection along the way, the path, the journey in this thing called life. And me, I was young and a little frustrated with this idea and concept that I was not able to achieve this job after doing everything I was told to do my entire life. Like most people, I was a little frustrated and a little depressed, and like most people of our culture, when that happens, we pray about it. And so I prayed and I asked for light, for direction. And somebody suggested that I read Rick Warren's book, The Purpose-Driven Life. And so I did. And upon finishing that book, I wrote this poem. Now, I've been writing poetry for quite some time. Nothing to do with my degree. I'm a graduate of North Carolina A&T State University, Aggie Pride, with a degree in industrial engineering, but in this moment, I found myself writing a poem, something that brought me joy, my form of communication to the world, where validating who I was and why I was on a daily basis, and this is what came out. So please understand that my purpose, that this purpose has somehow been written, almost engraved on the daily pages of my life, and I'm just now learning to actually read them. And you see, Lord knows that I wish I could show you the mental bruises of my strife, but instead I will show you how he shaped and molded me. How he's got me praying every single day, Lord, please use me. You see, like Bible pages, my purpose has been translated on several occasions, and I promise you it's nothing like receiving personal insight. And sometimes, well, most times it makes it so evident. Yet we refuse to see it, so we close our eyes and pretend to be blind, but purpose, true divine purpose, it finds you. It reminds you of who you are. It shines its light on your so-called life, but you're really not living if you're not giving of yourself. You see, the wealth he's blessed you with is your gift. And some don't realize they have it. Some won't accept it. Some refuse to use it, and some abuse it. Yet today we choose it. And I'm thinking that maybe just maybe this purpose thing chose me. You see, without purpose, I would have no true identity. So please understand, I did not submit to this thing willingly. He sort of forced me, or repeatedly. I mean, over and over and over again, I was left with nothing. And so I submitted completely to his will, my purpose, bringing me autonomy. I didn't say fame or money, but purpose. Ours being service. You will never find your true treasure where your heart is not. And today my heart is here. So I'm thinking that my treasure must be soon to follow. So please understand that my purpose, that this purpose has somehow been written, almost engraved on the daily pages of my life. And I'm just now learning to actually read them, to finally accept and understand my God-given purpose. That of service, that of family, that of community and responsibility to this thing called poetry. You see, this is my purpose. And after reading that book and writing that poem, I started to think more about purpose. Less about career, less about job, less about money, but about what made me happy, what fulfilled my life. And I leaned a little bit more into writing, to performing, to showcasing who I was, why I was, at every single opportunity. And soon enough, somebody asked me how much I would charge to perform at their church. Now, never having been paid to perform, I had no idea what to tell them, but I told them that I would do it, but I would need a moment or two to do some research and I get back to them on a price. I did that, and I went home and I researched and I looked up what first speakers got paid, what poets got paid, what a decent amount to charge for performance was. And I was amazed at what the opportunities that lie in front of me just from speaking publicly, from using my God-inherent gift, my purpose, my passion to pursue something bigger than myself. And it was amazing at the opportunities that continue to open, the doors that continue to open, that I was able to walk through by simply walking in my purpose. I think that so often we are so caught up in what the world says we should do, who the world says we should be. So maybe changing our language. Instead of, going to school, get education in order to get a job, we start investing in ourselves, what makes us happy, and what we enjoy doing, still educated, but focusing more on inner wealth, inner peace, and things that actually make us happy. And I've learned through this process that the trick is finding something that you would do for free and then doing it so well that people are willing to pay you for it. And with that idea in mind, every single day of my life has been a journey that I've always been able to smile about. I had a chance to do what I love and following my purpose, connecting to Nia and being who I am. Now, is it easy? No. Are there days of struggle and strife and consequence? Yes. But at the end of the day, I'm doing what I love. Now, some days I don't get paid a dime, and the others I get paid a lot. And either way, I give the same performance, same energy, same love, same light, because it's within me. It's part of who I am, and I'll be doing it anyway. And that, to me, is a perfect example of purpose. It's not easy following your purpose. It didn't magically appear. There was no big pile or stack of money waiting after I made this decision to start pursuing something that was within me. Case in point, I worked 11 years at UPS, United Parcel Service, tossing boxes in the back of a truck in the middle of the night while chasing my dreams by day. I found that poetry is actually part of the English and language arts curriculum at every single school, in every single city, in every single state across the entire country. Literacy is a huge deal, and if you can inspire a student to read and write, then you could create your own job. And so, along with teachers that graduated and were looking for people that want to come to their classroom and inspire students to read and write, I got invited to several classrooms to do what else? Poetry. So also connected to hip hop and music and singing, and again, showing young people how poetry connects to their everyday life was an opportunity to not only inspire them, but to teach them a different way to look at literacy, creative writing, and the music they listen to every single day. And so I was able to create the Poetry Project, which allowed me to derive funds, legacy, opportunity, and connection in a whole new way simply from looking at my purpose through a different lens. And I will say this is where the engineering part came in, because I was able to engineer ideas and concepts that allowed me to see things visually in a way that made sense monetarily. So not only was I able to use poetry as a conduit for my passion and my purpose, but also I was able to derive a way to create financial gain on a consistent basis, because the school system is always looking for ways to connect. As an artist myself, I would look for ways to validate my voice, to create spaces to be heard by more people. So I created the Poetry Cafe. And in that, created a space where artists could come, hone their craft, and learn more about themselves and the arts in their community. That was 15 years ago. Today, we are a syndicated radio show, and we tour the country nationally, all based, again, on the purpose, the idea, the passion of this principle we're talking about today called Nia. I say this to say, never let your purpose fade. We exist because of the things that make us happy. When you stop doing what you love, you cease to exist. So every single time I pick up a pen, I'm able to put my life on the line. Pieces of my soul come together like railroad tracks, taking me further and further and further. I've never ever been out this far, so I'm praying to God the signal don't drop. I'm asking, can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Was my signal fading? Wading in the waters while I constantly throw lines past the shallow part of my life, just trying to make a deeper connection. So I'm asking feet, don't fail me now as I walk it. I'm asking heart, don't fail me now. Just lay my emotions, my pains, my struggles, my strifes, my life on the Mason-Dixon. Somewhere between north and south, between east and west, between black and white, between right and wrong. We've all sung freedom songs. From sun up to sundown, the sound turns silent. And then violent. And then somehow to peace, if we're converted back to sound that vibrates time. Understand this line, your line, my line spares no one. Loves no one. Honors, obeys, respects no one, just simply stretches as far as your eyes can see. Connecting the dots to your destiny, it's mesmerizing ecstasy. It's sometimes blurry. But I promise you, it's my love. It's my life, my peace, my gifts, my arts, my joy. You see, in this life, there will be so many hills and valleys, So many peaks and mountains, so many rivers and streams, but the line of your life remains true. The line of your life will prove what is destined for you. Understand this line spares no one, loves no one, honors, obeys, respects no one, just simply stretches as far as your eyes can see. Connecting the stars to your galaxy, it's mesmerizing ecstasy. It's sometimes, oftentimes, most times it's blurry. But I promise you it's my love. It's my life, my peace, my gifts, my arts, my joy, my tears, my fears, my passion, my purpose, and my service. And for you, here and now, I lay all that I am on the line. When I think about that poem, it takes me back to high school. Because when you think about purpose, it's been there the entire time. You just didn't realize. I was able to write this poem senior year in high school for our multicultural day, AKA Black History Month. And I remember the way the audience responded to this poem, the applause, the accolades, the attention, such to the point that after the presentation, my teacher suggested that I get the poem copywritten because it was such a great poem, a great piece. And in my mind, that meant photocopies. So I rented a copying machine and photocopied a copy of the poem for everybody in the audience. I now know that's not what copyright means, but my passion for writing, for creating, for sharing my art has been with me for a very, very, very long time. Take a step further. In the 4th grade, I wrote an essay about my father. We were asked to write about our heroes. The essay won 4th place, not 1st, not 2nd, not 3rd, but 4th. This picture still hangs in my mother's house. Proud 4th grader, full afro, poem, essay in hand, and big yellow 4th place ribbon on my chest. So even from my youngest memory, I was writing and winning awards. It's along the way I lost sight of that potential. I never knew there could be something more than a hobby or an essay or classroom assignment. And so to be an adult, now connecting the dots to the line of my life, writing my destiny every single day about who I could be, my dreams, my hopes, my ambitions, all connected to my purpose, has made my life a dream come true. Never get a chance to explore that, to grow that idea and concept, and to build more and inspire more people in the community to do the same. So I mentioned earlier that I worked 11 years for UPS, United Parcel Service, in the back of a truck tossing boxes, because paying bills is important. Purpose or not, money or not, you have to make sure that the lights are on and you have food to eat and support yourself and your vision and idea. Dreams have to be planted and nurtured and watered, and working for your dreams, for your passion, for your purpose is necessary in order for it to grow. But I knew it was time to move on, take the leap of faith when I was able to double my salary performing poetry that I was making at a part-time job at UPS. Upon leaving in December, by March of the following year, I was able to travel to Australia and perform poetry. Faith without works is dead. It's important that you continue to work, to push, to build, to believe in your dreams. So when I think of the word Nia, the principle for the 5th day of Kwanzaa, I think of community and how our purpose drives and thrives our community, especially as Black people, where we've been, where we're going, what sustains us. And it's one another. It's the connection and creativity that we have from our past to our present that propels us into the future. So where we are standing now is also part of my purpose. Here in the Civil Rights Museum, I was able to embody the ancestor David Richmond. Ironically, my very first home purchase was on David Richmond Court here in Greensboro, North Carolina. So another direct connection to the evolution of who I was able to become by following my purpose. And so it was both a blessing and an honor to be able to create a piece around his life, because what the A&T4 did for this city, for this community, for the nation, and for the world was historic, was monumental. So to be able to use my gifts and my purpose to align myself in that same space, to connect that energy, has been magnificent. To have that piece live on in this space because I was brave enough to tap into and follow my purpose, my God-given gifts that continually multiply and manifest. I think about the Poetry Cafe and how every single month we come together as a community to share our ideas, our purpose, our vision, our feelings. And on every facet of my life, I've been able to draw back in to what brings me peace, to my purpose, which is why today is such an important thing for me to be a part of. And now, as the Poet Laureate for Greensboro, the first inaugural ever, I can see where this blessing, this gift has allowed me to be. My journey to becoming the Poet Laureate of Greensboro is steeped in purpose. To be the first ever, there was no application process. There was no jury of my peers. It was a suggestion that we needed to have a Poet Laureate for the city. And when they looked up, there was only one person who'd been doing the work on the ground, who had been uplifting the art of spoken word poetry in the city for over a decade. Again, my purpose, my gift made room for the next step in evolution in my life. And it's been an honor to continue to be an ambassador for the city, to uplift poetry, to showcase what can be done, whether it's education or in the corporate system or just in the community, because communication is such an important thing for the human race. The more we're able to share, connect, build, grow, communicate effectively and efficiently together as a people, the better off we're going to be. Your gift will make room for you. And granted, everybody's purpose is not the same. Everybody's purpose will not become a career, but I'm blessed that mine has intertwined, has become something that I'm able to do, support my family, to grow, to build, and to dream. And every day it gives me a chance to shine. So I've got to be a star. And if that's the case, that makes every single day my story. That's the only reason I no longer worry with each new trial or tribulation. Makes my story that much better. Makes my interview with BET or MTV that much longer. My will to succeed that much stronger. So right about now I can understand why I'm not yet shining. At times I find myself rhyming alone in the dark in the shower for hours, and I guess it's just not my time for the limelight. So lately I've been getting what you might call lemons. But I pretend that the sweet and sour candy And that somehow I just happened to pluck the sour ones from the bag. At times I feel stagnant, almost unable to move, but I never, ever, ever lose sight. I remember the day before the glory, when no one cared about my story. Before the money and the fame and the attention, but I forgot to mention, or should I say add the two today. So sometimes today there's no money, no attention, no fame, no glory, but there is my story. So I've got to be a star. But I keep wondering, how much can one man take before breaking? Some nights I wake up shaking. After dreaming of driving down long, dark roads in a car with no wheels, just makes it pretty hard to steer. I find myself arriving at McDonald's with only enough change in my hand to buy a Happy Meal. Then trying to palm the toy outside as cars drive by, and I wake up screaming, why, Lord, why me? But then remembering that I've got to be a star. And just at present, I must just be twinkling above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. So twinkle, twinkle, little star. How they must wonder what you are. So they must not know who I am or what I am. I still find myself eating green eggs and ham and Spam. I dream of buying land in Africa, and every single day I'm still searching for my purpose, but it's just not surfacing. But in the distance, I can hear my theme music playing, and over and over and over keep saying to me that you are a shining star. No matter who you are, from sea to shining sea, no matter who you be, and hearing that song, this song, it soothes me, refocuses me back on my destinies with the 3 part-time jobs and all the bills take their turns getting paid, with the car on the street that works whenever it wants to, and the empty refrigerator too. You see, I've got to be a star. Please God, let me be a star, because this here is a pretty good story. This here is my story. This here is our story. Every single day is your opportunity at stardom, and I pray you never, ever miss your opportunity to shine. My purpose, my Nia, has allowed me to shine, to illuminate, to connect, to educate, to build wealth and legacy by my wildest dreams. And now, as a professional artist with a family, a wife, a son, a daughter, legacy is a constant thought. The fact that I can't perform on a stage with her in the audience and her not jumping up in my arms is a blessing. To be able to pass on the purpose and passions of my life, to have my family see me succeed and win, to grow, to invest, and to remind me what life is really about. So in the beginning, we talked about constantly telling or learning or hearing from my parents to go to school, get education, we could get a good job. I now think to my son and my daughter and telling them to find what makes you happy, find your purpose, find your passion, and the rest will find you. In this new year, this time of celebration, I pray you take a moment to breathe, to reconnect, to remember who you are, who we are as a people, how powerful we can be in the future that awaits us if we choose purpose.
We thank you once again for joining us on our 5th day of Kwanzaa. We want to thank Josephus Thompson III for his presentation. What a life journey. Although he was speaking on Nia, he incorporated each and every one of the principles in his presentation by standing firm in being self-determined and having faith to live his purpose with intention. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the principle of Kaumba, creativity.